Burnout exists because we've made rest a reward rather than a right. I wonder if you're feeling burned out. My name is Sylvia Mordini. I'm the founder of Life Inspired, and welcome to my Inspire series. I would love for you to subscribe if you find this helpful and inspiring. So let's take a look at what you're feeling right now and what sort of experience you've been having. Have you been maintaining an overwhelming workload and have been feeling undue stress for a long period of time? So the thing is, if that's the case, there's only so much that our bodies and our minds can handle before they burn out. An unnatural amount of stress for a prolonged period of time is going to lead to burnout. And so one of the key questions I often get asked is, will it just go away? Like when I'm less busy, will this just go away and I'm not going to feel burned out? And the thing is, no, burnout doesn't just go away. We have to actually do something. We have to reset. And so this recalibration is something that each of us has the power to do. And here are some tips to literally help you recover from burnout and reset. So number one is to remember those things that brought you happiness, that sparked joy. Because when we get overly busy, we forget what it is that makes us happy. So make a list right now of those things that literally just make you joyful, that spark this feeling, this inner smile, this outer smile, just thinking about them. Are they places? Are they experiences? Are they being with particular people? But write down what literally makes you happy. Let's reconnect to that first and foremost. And then another key tip is to assess what your needs are. So write a list of those needs that are fundamental that you're experiencing right now. Do you need more sleep? Do you need better nutrition? Do you need more support to get things done at home or at work? What is it that you need? And as you write those things down, remembering you can always pause this video in order to write longer, as you write those things down, then take a look and see, is it really possible for you by yourself to get all of those needs met? Or does this require asking for help, reaching out for other resources? And that doesn't matter if whether it's at home or at work or in any other realm. So really be honest with yourself. If the needs that you have, these fundamental needs, are things that you can do completely by yourself, or do you need a support system? Do you need some other people to be involved? Will this require reaching out for those resources? Then let's examine those people that we can trust. Talking to people that we can trust about the way we're feeling is such a helpful way to help alleviate the feeling of burnout. So make a list of those people that are your go-to people that you can trust to talk to email, to text with, to reach out, and to just let them know how you're feeling. And then make a promise to reach out to one of those people. If trust is an issue, believe me, I understand that. And the first thing is, notice if your name is on the list. Do you trust yourself? Do you fundamentally trust yourself to care for yourself, to keep yourself safe? So how do we know we're burned out? Well, I'm certain you've read these sorts of attributes and qualities of like the feeling of burnout, and intuitively I just know that you know. But forgetfulness, feeling overwhelmed and unable to get just fundamental things done, not trusting yourself, losing confidence, feeling all sorts of self-doubt. And so if you've lost trust with yourself, that already is a sign of burnout, and let's recalibrate and regain self-trust. In the past, you have been able to take care of yourself. So remind yourself, or even write down those times or those years or moments where you know that you were able to take care of yourself and you didn't feel the way that you do right now. Because I know that there have been times that you've had great trust in yourself and you were taking good care. And then from self-trust, it's so much easier to trust other people. But when we lose complete trust in ourselves from the overwhelm and from feeling so burned out, then it does become a little bit more difficult to trust people. And we're going to have to push through that a little bit in order to rebuild and reset trust in ourselves and trust in other human beings. Even if you've had people let you down, it doesn't mean that they will again, or ask different people. You don't have to do everything by yourself, certainly. And then practice self-compassion. All the places in your life that you're feeling like a failure, because that too is one of those signs of burnout, where no matter what I do, things aren't getting done. I don't feel good about what I'm working on. Nothing ever gets finished or accomplished. The product of my work or my efforts at home, things are so imperfect. I'm feeling like a failure. So if that sort of dialogue is happening for you because you are burnt out, that's very typical, then let's show ourselves some compassion. Otherwise, that feeling of failure, not good enough, I'm not getting enough done, accomplished, or everything is just not as great as it used to be at home or at work, then let's do something about that first and foremost to create healing through self-compassion. Hold those feelings, write those places where you feel like you're experiencing failure or not enoughness, and then hold them. Really acknowledge them. They want to be seen so they can be healed and embraced. And have compassion that you are doing the very best you can in this moment in time. Acknowledge that this moment won't last forever. Your feelings will change, but right now, that feeling of lack, not enoughness, or failure is a real feeling. Those are real. So have compassion for what it is that you're feeling and allow yourself to embrace those feelings with love and complete acceptance of the full spectrum of emotions, that you don't have to feel a different way right now than what you do, and that this is what's happening right now. Compassion is in this moment of the present moment, and just find ways to then offer yourself self-care from self-compassion. It's so much more difficult to say, I'm going to do all these good things for myself without self-compassion. Otherwise, we have the ideas, yeah, I should do these things, but they don't actually get done, because first we need compassion for ourselves to then lay the course for self-care. So just having gentle compassion. Look at the videos that I have, look at the resources I have online for self-compassion meditations, self-compassion journaling, and self-compassion affirmations, and let those be of service to you. And then let's take a look at the boundaries that we have. I like to call them love boundaries, like self-love boundaries. When we are healthy, we have strong, healthy love boundaries. The more burned out we get, the boundaries fall apart, and then that leads to more burnout. So ideally, can you write down what healthy boundaries look like that would demonstrate love for you? Is that a boundary such as no social media after 7 p.m., turning all technology, iPhones and laptops off at a certain time, going to bed at an earlier time, waking up consistently, nutrition that is consistent, healing, and good? Even if it's the same meal every day, that this is a meal during the day that is vitally important to you? What sorts of boundaries can you do on your time on the weekend? Are you allowing yourself to overwork every weekend, leading to more burnout? Or can you set a boundary and say that this weekend I'm going to dedicate 80% of the time to rest? For rest is not a reward for working hard. Rest is your fundamental right for just being human. You've done enough. You do not have to earn rest. All right, so think about where other places are that would benefit from boundaries. The more that you have a structured approach, the deeper in burnout you are, the better it will be. When we're feeling easeful and everything's going great, then that's fine to have a very fluid calendar and fluid scheduling and time management. But the more burnout you get, the more forgetful you become, the more distracted you become, the less productive you become, the more you procrastinate. So as a result, it's so important to then allow yourself to take back control by setting boundaries and creating a more structured way of living for this time period in order to heal from burnout. Because remember, if we do nothing, the burnout is not going to go away. It will only get worse. So setting boundaries is your way of taking control. And you also, to tie back in a previous point, it's a way to build self-trust. So creating a feeling of safety for yourself, that you are the guardian of your own safety, not waiting for someone else to save you or to put the boundaries in place for you, or just let everything fall apart into crisis. But to feel safe requires healthy boundaries. And that could be at work or at home or a combination thereof. But allow yourself to create a more structured plan for your days until you feel better, until you feel more in control. Because another attribute of burning out is that you just constantly feel out of control, like life is being done to you, like you're a pinball in a pinball machine and just being bounced around. Let's get back control and feel safe with ourselves, right? This may feel like inner child work, but just fundamentally having a set schedule will be really, really helpful. And then identify the changes that are possible to make right now. You can't change everything. That's just going to create more overwhelm. But identify one or two small 5% changes that you can implement right away today. What are one or two 5% teeny little changes that you can implement? Because small changes lead to a big life. Small changes lead to a big life. When we're overwhelmed and burned out, we think that transformation means we have to change everything, burn it all down, walk away, blow it up. But we don't. Instead, allowing ourselves to make just a 5% change, which is manageable for all of us, allows us to then see that you are in control of the changes you want to make in your life. It builds a momentum, it rebuilds your confidence and control in holding your life together, and it allows you to see that it is possible to have a big impact from a very small change. If you're familiar with the book Tiny Habits, it goes into such great explanation of why tiny little habits can lead to enormous change. But I've learned this concept from mindfulness practice over the last 30 years. So give it a try. So for instance, I used to struggle with meditation, and instead of being down that I can't meditate for an hour, I just started to practice for 1 minute a day. 1 minute of meditation. And that 1 minute changed my life. Just that 1 minute is a very small ask, and I knew that I could implement a 1 minute for myself each day. I didn't think that I could maintain a 1 hour responsibility for myself each day, but 1 minute, absolutely. And from there, I let it grow and evolve. But that 1 minute saved my life. And I did that for a while before I felt any need to add a second minute to meditate. So think about where you can make those small changes, one or two, make a list, and from that list, pick one or two, not make a list and try to implement all of those, because that again is overwhelming. When we are in burnout, we're not in that place of making the very best decisions. And we don't need, when we're burned out, to add all these other things to our plate. We're already doing too much. So don't try to make all the changes. Just try to find small, tiny 5%, one or two little things, and let that help you. So these are the tips that I have to help you reset from burnout. It's so important now more than ever to find a way to help your healing move forward. And if you want any other resources, check the comments below in the description of the video, but don't hesitate to reach out to me for a quick laser-like clarity call, or find all of the freebies on my website, especially the Reset Toolbox that gives you all sorts of modalities, affirmations, meditations, workbooks, PDFs, downloads to help you reset, especially when you're struggling with burnout. So I hope this has been helpful. I am pulling for you, I'm cheering for you. I've been where you are more than once, and I know that you can move out of this experience of burnout. From my heart to your heart, let's take a big breath in, open mouth exhale. May you love yourself, love your day, and love your life.